Any doubt so far on this demo? This is that real world demo or real world architecture which you'll be seeing it there. There will be front door, there will be Kubernetes instead of VM, there will be function app instead of that, there will be work app. But that logic behind that, that everything routing and the network stuff which I did will be remain same. Now, one more thing, what you can do, you can enable the Defender, Microsoft Defender, right? So that get the compliance and security or governance also. Azure policy is there, which we talked about. Azure Blueprint previously, which we talked about. Azure Defender for plant, Defender for container, right? And RBAC, how we can restrict that IAP gateway, I can restrict the traffic here and there using that RBAC, key vault, all the steps we are going to talk about. Any questions on this one, on the traffic which we built today, on that architecture we built today? Any question, guys, on this one? If you have it, feel free to ask. Otherwise, let's just jump to different topic. I'll do that cleanup here, and I'm getting everything in place. I'm getting not secure. Why? Why I'm getting the not secure? Anyone? It's very easy to answer, right? Why I'm getting this not secure? Exactly. Certificate is not.
Certificate.
Yeah. So no certificate is there, right? Not even the self-signed. I'm using this HTTP traffic, right? Once I'll have that HTTPS, not I'll be having that HTTPS SSL encryption done. Right now, someone asked that question. Let me show you that. Someone asked that where exactly I can do that end-to-end encryption, right? So go in App Gateway. I'll show you that place. In App Gateway, in a listener, here, right? Open this listener. If I'll change this HTTP to port 443, it's not allowing me because this is the new one, which I already get it. Let me do that in the listener, and we'll show you. If I'll change it to HTTP, see, it's asking to upload the certificate, and that certificate in a PFX format. It's asking me to upload that certificate in a PFX format, and then once you upload that, right, that certificate, and the password you need to provide it, which you use during creation of that PFX certificate, right? And then you provide that. Now, one thing is happening from front end to that app gateway, SSL encryption is happening. What about the backend one? Let's go in a backend setting. Now with the app gateway v2, when I said CER, right? For app gateway to the backend server, you need to have the certificate in a .CER format. But if you're using that app gateway v2, correct? App gateway v2 here, what happened with that? If you are using a well-known signed CA certificate, like which all, DigiCert, VeriCheck, and what else are there? Some others are well-known signed certificate is there. If you are using a well-known signed certificate, you don't have to provide that backend app gateway with a certificate. But if you are not using that, like you are using some other signing authorities, right? Then you need to upload that certificate. Why this is happening? Can someone tell me? If I'm using a well-known certificate, I don't have to provide that certificate on my app gateway, even I want to end-to-end termination, SSL encryption. Can anyone try on the guess? This is all networking experts, right? We're discussing security.
Because that root certificate and the other stuffs are already well known.
Exactly. The root certificate will already be a part of this app gateway setups, which we have it there, right? But if you're not using that, then you need to provide that root certificate. And one more thing, when you're doing that, always use full chain certificate. That's you guys are already aware about that, but I'm just telling you, full chain certificate. What does this mean? The full chain certificate contain the root cert, intermediate cert, and then what else? The CRT cert, which you have with that, child cert, right? The domain cert, you can say. So you have doing 3 cert with the PEM key file or PFX key file or key file. You can get it any by PFX, PKIM, PEM forward key file. Use create a full chain certificate, right? So everything it's there. I tried to give communicate everything which like a person needs to have it there. Now let's do that cleanup and let's come back with some questions here, some interviews question. What I'll do, Instead of going one by one resources, I'll just quickly select that demo RG, and then this will do everything. So we deployed many resources here. Okay, let me do that. Create resource group. Also, then this also, and this also. Try to do the setup, right? Try to do more configuration here. Try to do, instead of just putting we did many more object creation. We did I try to put every networking expert there, right? Route table here, and then peering is there. Now you do more experts. You do more experts, right? What more experts? Try to generate one self-signed certificate. I'll just give you one more idea. Trying to generate one self-signed certificate, right? And create one key vault. Upload that certificate in a key vault and ask that app gateway to take the certificate from the key vault, right? And use that listeners on the port HTTPS. Anyway, there are many more which you can do it, right? Many more things you can, or even for that, create the same replica in a DR region also. But you will not be able to do that. Don't worry, because free trial, you will not get that limitation of the public IP. But the DC, you can do that, right? So many more things you can do it there, right? And then try to see that how the things are working. As more as hands-on you guys are doing it, you will be making yourself more confident. Now, instead of
yeah. I have one question. You can take one empty notepad, explain us like 5 minutes at least. So, for example, let's say it is a small startup and it has only 30 servers. We required only 30 servers, and they are building some application which require web and SQL. So, what are the components required? And they have some very strict budget, but they still require some kind of security. So what advice you will give for that company? So what are the components will be there?
Okay, that scenario based thing, right? This we'll cover that in a scenario based. We have that questions, right? But I'll take that if not covered there, right? I'll take it as separate. But yeah, so there are multiple things, Prakash, we need to think about that, right? What are the component you're going to involve the networking side? What are the component you're going to involve from that? So three-tier architecture, we commonly used to build it there, right? I'll tell you what is three-tier architecture is there.
Yeah, if we plan tomorrow, we can take it.
Okay, but today I have that question. We'll see it there, right? In that question. So if this is no question is here, let's move to there. So I came up with questions also. I tried to on that weekdays, I put it some questions which I generally faced it, and then along with that, I also have that questions which are uh, I got it from that for my research. There are very simple and then some scenario based also. Like we have some scenario based questions and then some theoretical based question also there, right? So I want you guys to participate, right, with full stuff. So we'll get answer and we'll make it more interactive this part here, right? But no worries if you're not sure about that. We are always here to understand each other, right? Yeah. So if I'll talk about it, and this is like very useful. If you trust me, if you are following it, right, it will be very useful. You will be getting that place somewhere, right? So let's see one thing. So first thing is, if anybody has any questions so far, what we have done, feel free to ask or paste it on the chat. And now, if we are discussing it further, there also, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. The first question is, what is the difference between load balancer and traffic manager? A one-line answer will work for me. A load balancer and traffic manager. Anyone, any guess? No one is aware about that. What is load balancer and traffic manager?
Load balance, traffic manager does not follow any traffic. I mean, it just only shows where to go. It doesn't um, participate in the routing decisions or something.
And
But
load balancer?
load balance, it it distributes the traffic.
Right. So the main difference is that, right, it does not take the part in that traffic flow, and then it's a DNS load balancer, DNSLB, right?
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
this load balancer is capable of doing that port translation. I'm talking about the network load balancer, port translation, and distributing the traffic in a route robin way. The backend, right? These are the very simple question. These are very simple question which I asked. It's like note of scenarios, and this you must have to aware about these things. How will you secure an Azure virtual network? If I have one virtual network, how can I secure that?
NSG.
Network security.
What else?
Using network security.
What else? What else? Apart from that, there are multiple ways, right? Think about that. No worries. Like it's not like we're just trying to bring everyone on the same pace. So NSG1, you said NSG1.
Yeah,
NSG1,
yes.
that is NSG1 is good. That is good. What else?
DDoS protection.
Exactly. DDoS also one thing. Thanks for that. What else?
Azure Firewall.
Exactly. Azure firewall is also one thing because all these things is going to be happen. NSG, we are putting it inside that VM and subnet level, right? That happen inside that virtual network. So we are securing it. DDoS again going to happen on the public IP and the VNet level. So that is also we are securing it, right? Azure firewall also we are going to create it within a VNet to restrict the traffic here and there. And there is one more. If you take a focus on that,
Defender.
Defender for cloud, you're saying, right?
Yeah.
And what else?
Policy.
What policy?
Like we can create policies, right? To for the user
Policy,
restriction.
policy, I
This
can,
also come in secure.
policy,
Okay.
no, Prakash, policy is there, but policy is for following the compliance and governance, right?
Okay.
It's following to is to follow the compliance and governance. There one more, right? Which you guys, I'm pretty much sure if I'll answer it, right? And
Service
I mean,
endpoints.
huh?
Service endpoints.
WAF. You think WAF?
DDoS, everybody, everybody's, I mean, someone asked that, but service endpoint, someone said, right? Service endpoint is to access your PaaS-based service, platform service, right? You're not securing your private endpoint. You're not securing your VNet by this one. You have your platform like storage account, correct? Like web app,
So
right?
WAF. Is it WAF?
WAF, yeah, WAF is also there. You can put it WAF for that app gateway. You're putting it app gateway for the WAF. What else? So tell me one thing, right? You have that on-prem connectivity and you have that VNet here and you have that VPN gateway, firewall is there inside that VNet, right? You have on-prem connectivity. So VPN gateway is also you're restricting the stubs, right? Only in testing subnet you're allowing it there. Or you're securing your VNet from the on-prem. How? From the Azure Firewall secure express route also. I mean, there also you can implement the security, right? You have that on-prem. You have that VNet here. You can use that VPN gateway to restrict the communication, only allow the interstate traffic. Or instead of VPN gateway, the same thing. Express route we can also do. Okay. So these all things, most of the answer you already given, but yeah, couple of things which we also can edit. Even I'm trying to do it. I also looking at the scenarios, I'm answering there. Right. So what is the purpose of Azure Application Gateway and how it's differ from the front door? Now you guys need to tell me this answer. Application Gateway, what is the main purpose of Application Gateway and how it's differ from the front door? And I'll tell you this is asked in many interviews. Application Gateway in front door difference and what is the purpose of Application Gateway? Yeah,
Application gateway works based on HTTP and HTTPS. It only works on HTTP and HTTPS.
You're giving a difference or you're telling that purpose of gateway?
Like application data is region specific. And
Yeah,
Front door is a global service.
global.
That's very good. Yeah, that's very, that's all. If you'll tell that, right? If you tell that in the interview will get to know, okay, you have that knowledge on that. And what else? That's very important difference you're given. And what else? There are many more stuffs are there, right? Think about that. Think about that. Take your time. Venkat, you said, right, it works on the HTTP and HTTPS.
Yeah, yes.
So even front door also worked on the
So
AT&T
front door is a
even-
combination of application gateway and traffic manager.
Exactly. So what capabilities I can do it here and what this will do. But this is you are I mean, if I'm saying it, it's a combination of two things, right? But what is
Yeah,
this combination will do? You need to tell me that, right? What this will do and what this will do. My question is this, and what is purpose of app gateway and how it's differ? You said front door is a combination of these two. But then what this will do, what this app gateway will do. You need to go back to my lecture and say it right and thoroughly. I told everything, all these things in my lecture. Okay, let me tell you that. App gateway is capable of doing that. App gateway is first thing, it's a regional, someone said. It's working with HTTP and 440, that is, it's all front door also going to work on that. But the purpose of app gateway, it's capable of doing that path-based routing and the URL-based routing. Even front door will also able to do that, but this is that capabilities. This is the main purpose, which will use for application load balancer. Application gateway used for the application load balancer, right? And I can do that SSL into an SSL termination also. Now here, it's a combination of app gateway plus TM, which means it's also capable of doing that, all these threats which we discussed. Along with that, it also able to do that DNS load balancer, DNS lookup. There is one more capabilities you get it with that front door, which you won't be getting it in my app gateway. What is that? That is CDN. You're going to get that content delivery network.
content delivery.
You won't be getting in my app gateway. Okay, tell me one thing. Can I use both? If let's say from the internet, this person is there from the internet, I am using front door. And at the back end, can I use app gateway? Is it possible? Is it possible to use that? Yes or no, right? This is, I mean, you just need to give me the answer in yes or no. This is
Yes.
possible or not? It's possible, right?
Yes.
But what scenario? Can you, if you can give me that, that is okay. Otherwise, I'll tell you that.
I think globally manage the
Yes.
traffic.
You're near to that. If you are wanted to take that traffic globally, we can use that front door. But after taking that, you also want to do that in a regional based load balancing. Then use that app gateway. Right? Like there are some compliance also there. Like GDPR compliance is there, which say you cannot transfer that cross regional data. So that app gateway, you also need to put it there. Or then in some time, I use the scenario because my scenario was there that time. My scenario was there that time. I was using this traffic from the internet. I was taking the traffic on the 443, and then from door to the app gateway, I was taking on the 444, and then the backend I was taking on the Kubernetes on 443. Why this is so? Why this is so? Because like previously, let's say this is my internal VM, right? This is my internal VM. What happened previously? Front door, right? That front door will not be able to, what I say? Sorry, not the front door. App gateway. Previously, what happened with that? App gateway will not be. I remember app gateway front end. It was long back, 4 to 5 years back or more than that. But it was an issue. You cannot have that. I think it was that front door. You cannot have that same listeners on the app gateway on the same port with the private and public. What I mean by that, this traffic which is coming from the front door, it is coming from the public, right? Because this is taking from the internet and then sending to the app gateway. And this VM is trying to, this VM, let's say this is my testing VM. I want that my traffic should go app gateway and then to Kubernetes. So if any issue is there, I will be able to identify on the Kubernetes internally, right? Then this is going for the internally. Then I need to create the listeners on 443 as a private IP, and then this one for the public IP. But then previously app gateway, I think this is also the case today also. You cannot create that listener with the same FQDN. There is also XYZ that. There are also XYZ that. You cannot create the same listener on the same port, on the same port on the app gateway. You got my right? You got my issue here. So for that reason, I use the front door, and I taken the front door on the port of 444 and here on port of 443, and then I send it back here on my app gateway, and then it's what reaching out to the Kubernetes. Okay, so the next question is pretty easy. What is the difference between Azure Firewall and Azure NSG?
You cannot do netting. I think in the NSG layer 7 you
No,
cannot.
firewall works on L3, L4, and L7 layers.
In NSG?
L3 and L4.
Yeah, it just, you can restrict the port and IP communication, that's it. You cannot do on the main thing on the NSG level, right? It bound and outbound communication there. But the firewall, you can do that URL filtering, you can do that enforcement profile application, you can do that different IPS instruction, policy lookup, and many more things, right? You can do it. Okay, now let's just do one thing. We'll discuss more stuffs tomorrow, right, on the networking experts. I'm gonna say these questions also, and there are some scenario based also which I've taken it there, right? And then we're going to do that. And also I try to find out some Azure diagnostic queries there, right? You see, these are the queries which I figure out which will be helpful for you guys to work it further. I'm going to say these also, right? And these are the some PowerShell command which I find out, which I'll be sharing it to you. So we'll discuss it tomorrow, and we'll see if tomorrow we'll be able to wrap it down with a 1 hour. That's good. Otherwise, we'll to extend it. But yeah, that's all for today.
Yeah, will you also discuss Azure Data Box?
Azure Databricks,
Data Box.
data box. You're saying data box, right?
Yeah.
No.
I think Sumit, this Hemu sir was is planning to take one class for this
Yeah. For the firewall.
Alto,
Yeah, for the
yeah,
firewall
Palo
deployment, right?
Alto over the cloud
Yeah.
deployment.
Yeah, he'll be taking it, but you need to ask that, right? I mean the schedule for that one. But he'll be taking that one
So we need,
session for the firewall deployment.
okay.
Yeah.
So in next coming weekend might be.
Yeah, I mean, I'll do one thing. I'll reach out to Sianet and we'll update you on that one on the group, right? When he's going to take it there. He said he'll be taking it, but the schedule I am not sure about that.
Okay. No
Data
issues.
box.
I will.
Vijay,
Yeah.
what do you, Vijay, I think Vijay or Vilas, you
Yeah.
asked that, right? What is data box, you said?
Yeah, like if we want to transfer huge amount of data, so normally Azure Express route will be for less, like in MBs if you want to transfer. But if a huge amount of data in GBs need to be transferred, then we use data box.
Data box, that is, okay, that is for the data transfer you are saying it, right? For the, like,
Yeah.
let's say if I need to unstructured structured data to be transferred there, right?
Yes.
That's all together is different. But express route and this VPN is what happened with this one, right? I mean, with that express route also, you are going to get it 100 gigs of top speed, right? But the VPN also, you are going to get some limitation, but there are different SKUs are there. You can transfer that data with that express route also, but looking at the bandwidth, how much you're going for the more bandwidth, you need to pay more for that, right? But data blocks is altogether in different things, right? I thought you'll be saying it, the blobs is there. With the blobs also, you can do that 4 to 5 petabytes of data. And there is another there, which is like data lake. Data lake is also a storage account, but it's a very highly efficient. Like this is used for big data or for data analytics, right? Where you need to get the real time data. Let's say you're using any AI, right? What happened with the AI? You need to get the real-time data. Then only you'll be doing that analysis. Then you can use the data lake, right? So there are many more things are there. Many more splits are there in the Azure itself. But we are diverting that stubs. We are segregated these stubs in two things, majorly focusing on networking and then security. I mean, there are, if I'll tell you, there are more than 100 stubs which I am aware about the Azure, which I have not told you, right? But those are not related with these you guys. So many more things is there, Vijay. Thanks for that. Okay, so we are done with today, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Bye bye. Thanks.
Sumit sir,
Yes.
could you please share that PPT that you have created? So we'll get.
I think most of the class I already shared it on there on the drive, but for the remaining 3-4 classes, I'll share it there.
Okay.
Thank you. Hit one, you asked one question there, right? You missed few classes there.
Yes.
Classes and not sure to cover how to prepare the exams and what exams we can take. Yeah, so exams basically, if you're going to take that exams, right? Majority of that exams is going to be focused on easy 700 and the 500. 700 is for design and implementation of the network, right? You need to first get the expert on the design networking, and then 500 is for, I mean, during if all the session I talked a bit on all that, and 500 is for your security, Azure security engineer, right? So after that, if you're willing to go that, you can take that 700 and the 500 with more focus. Some of the topics like more topic networking side, you are pretty good, but on the security side, you need to take more topic on that AD level and some more topics there. Right, so you can opt by that way and you can go with that.
Sir, how much cost of that AZ 700 and AZ 500 certification?
I don't think it's higher, but yeah, you can. I mean, if I talk about that, I mean, both, I think within 10K INR, I mean, Azure do not have that much higher cost, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very lesser cost. I mean, exact cost, I'm not sure about that. Let me see that. But like, I'm pretty much sure this both will be come within under 10K.
Okay.
AC 500 cost. See, it's 8200, right, for this one. What's that? Easy 5,000 you can reach from, but yeah, I mean, pretty much sure this is within 10,000. But similarly for 700 also.
So there is some prerequisite also, or we can go directly.
No, so I mean, see, in the exams, what happened? There are multiple questions they can ask, right? Some of the questions which if you read about that, then also that concepts and all that base. So I'll suggest go with the dumps first, right? Go with the dumps. Thank you, Tuan. Go with the dumps and do as much as dumps you can look for that, because that's more better way. You'll be getting that